Okay. Is there hello? Uh, hello, hello. Okay. Just had to. All right. I'm feeling strange, feeling strange, feeling strange. I feel like smoking a cigarette. Too bad I don't have any, and I'm not gonna buy a whole pack. All right. So what am I trying to say? For starters, I need to keep working on that crypto whatever I was doing. I don't know. This whole agentic commerce thing has morphed into some sort of weird crypto thing, and I don't really think I need to like know all about this crypto stuff. But it couldn't really hurt, and I feel like it's inevitable because it just seems to like lead in that direction. Uh, and so I plan to do that here and nowish. I'm so tired. It's weird because I was like amped a second ago. I was amped. I am amped. I'm like amped and tired at the same time. It's like there's one of my body systems is like going and another one of my body systems is like destroyed, you know? It's like fitty fitty. I need another Monster Energy. I need some chocolate. I need about 15 hours of sleep. I need to sleep less, go for a walk. I need to do all this. But anyways, I have a very strange feeling right now. I mean, on one hand, okay, for starters, I'm pretty sure I'm going to leave Hualien, which I just realized this like 30 seconds ago. It's like, okay, I've been doing this for 2 minutes, so not 30, 5 minutes ago. So, but I mean, the thing about it is that, I don't know, the way I am, it's like I'm observing my own behavior from the outside, where it's sort of like, I just keep thinking of like when I have a cold and like I know the cold is over because I want to drink a beer and smoke a cigarette, for example. Those aren't the only, or like eat sugar. I don't eat sugar when I have cold because I feel like it makes things way worse. But and I'll be like, if the cold wasn't over, then why would I be eating this? If the cold wasn't over, then why would I be smoking this? And it's like it doesn't really make logical sense because it's like I don't know what I'm. I don't. You think I'd know how to? It's sort of like, but yeah. So instead of being like, it's like the order of operations, the flow, the logic is like backwards. Instead of being like, I feel like my cold is over, therefore it's okay to drink a beer, therefore it's okay to eat an ice cream, therefore it's okay to smoke a cigarette. Uh, assuming you do those things, anyways. I'm like, uh, I am currently eating an ice cream, smoking a cigarette, and drinking a beer. Clearly, my cold must be over, or else I wouldn't be doing that. So that's kind of the way I feel it. Like it's sort of like I didn't make a decision to leave Hualia, and I'm just sort of like I I wouldn't be feeling sad about it if I wasn't going to leave. I didn't make a. I feel like I have to go to the Philippines. I have made no decisions. I could stop. This is the way I used to do things because Tom Dwan told me to do it this way was to stop and examine all of my options before I do something. But now I tend to just there's an intuition and I'm going with the intuition even if I couldn't explain to you what it is. And I feel like that's better. I really feel like that's better. Of course, I feel like it's better because that's what my intuition is telling me to say. Because life isn't poker. Poker rewards overthinking most of the time. There are sometimes, but it depends on some players, and there's definitely I've experienced where you have the right idea, then you think about it again and you get the wrong idea, and that it's your intuition was right. But then, especially if your intuition is sort of like honed at that to that game at that time in that place. But for the most part, poker rewards overthinking. And to be honest, I don't even think I think it comes back to what I was saying the other day about um, you are what you track. In that, like, it's really about you overthink after the hand when you're analyzing the hand after the fact, and then what another player might consider to be overthinking is now just your normal level of thinking. So you're not even overthinking it. You're not like second guessing yourself in the middle of a thing. You're doing what you need to do. Um, Goodbye, my loved one. Do you know what I am? Um, Anyway, so I feel kind of bad about leaving Hualien, which I guess I'm going to do. Again, I haven't made like a decision, but it just feels like that's what I'm about to do. And yeah, looking back, it seems like when I was in Minnesota and I was looking specifically at this art piece on the wall and deciding whether or not, and I realized that this room had no windows. I knew that, and I saw how cheap it was, and I just thought to myself, I don't give a fuck. I will live in that dark hole for 2 months and I will get done what I need to get done, and nobody will bother me. And that's exactly what has happened. And so, like looking back on it, I feel like even all the things that happened in the meanwhile, like I knew what I was doing, and had thought it through, even if it wasn't verbal, and I made the right decision. And now I feel very similarly about going to the Philippines. I feel like I should do that. And then the thing is, I can only be there for 30 days. It's not even like I'm making like a big deal out of this. It's not even a big deal because I can only be there for 30 days. And so after 30 days, I fly back to Taoyuan. And so most likely I will decide to spend some time. I'll spend some time in Taoyuan. At that point in time, that'll be the perfect time to knock on some doors in Taoyuan, like some SEO doors. And then in the event that I want to live somewhere cheaper, I can come back to Hualien. And in the event that everything's going so awesome in Taoyuan, that I would never want to leave, I'll just stay in Taoyuan and possibly, uh, you know, go back to the Philippines every. That might be the thing. That might be a good way to do it. Is just spend 1 month in the Philippines and then spend 2 months in Taiwan, and then 1 month in the Philippines, and then 2 months in Taiwan, and just do that forever. That would honestly be sounds cool to me. Sounds muy perfecto. There's no reason to go to Japan. It's like it's kind of a um I hate to say I'm romanticizing anything that's related to Japan because I'm not doing it the way people are doing it. But I romanticized the idea of living like a monk in Japan, where I will say, yeah, it's like also the loss in translation thing, where it's like for me, even in Taiwan, I have a bit of um, a weird feeling about being around foreigners. Anybody that's not Taiwanese, it's like, hey, I didn't come here for you. But I feel like in Japan, I wouldn't feel that way at all. I would be like, anybody I meet in Japan, just as happy to meet them Not that I dislike Japanese or don't want to meet Japanese, but just I'm as much here for the non-Japanese as for the Japanese. So like, and also because it's like I'll be living in the cheapest little like place where everybody just gets their own little their little capsule. So I'll probably meet, people from different countries. And I'll be slumming it in Japan. So it might actually be okay. But what I was gonna say is I'm like um romanticizing the idea of going to Japan to be like a monk. Uh by which I mean just like be on my computer coding and not talking to anybody and spending as little as possible, you know, getting one sandwich at 7-Eleven per day or something like that. But I don't see I'm not seeing the coding tasks that would make it worthwhile to do that. What coding tasks do I have? Like the main coding task that I have, I'm still not done syncing the directories, but again, that's something where it's like just a matter of making the graphs, which isn't like that challenging. And then when you make the graphs, whatever aspect of the process of making graphs is annoying, you just fix that part. Uh, and I'm not even sure if that's really what I'm going to do. I think that's what I'm going to do. It's just I'm not making a point of doing that, but I believe that's where things circle back around to. If I start making a directory of agentic commerce service providers, then I'm going to want my directory to be a RAG bot. And if it's a RAG bot, then I'll want each of the entries to be a graph. And then I'm going to want an automated way to create those graphs, and I'm going to want a way to sync them. So that's just inevitable that that's the way it'll all go down. Um, However, wait, what was I going to do here? And then the other thing is like the 3-in-1, which is to say the feed bot, the knowledge bot, and I guess the biggest coding task of all would be um, taking the graphs and making the bots out of the graphs. But again, I feel like that is that is less important for me than the thing that I hope to do in the Philippines. And the thing that I hope to do in the Philippines is this: to make it so that I don't have to do this stuff myself. To just have a list of people that can do things for me, and then I focus on marketing and SEO, and maybe they do marketing and maybe they do SEO, but I do my marketing and SEO. And then when I get a client, I give them to do that marketing, SEO, and selling and sales, right? People are sort of like, oh, well, or like, I see that the business process outsourcing is dying because of AI. Because why would you need a Filipino when you can use AI? And it's like, it's hard for me to believe that AI can be better now or anytime in the next 3 years than AI run by a Filipino that knows what they're doing. And I think, ultimately, like, because I've never been to the Philippines, and I think just going to a new place and having a new experience is going to be a wonderful thing. And, but, I think that'll just probably just sneak up on me. It's not something I'm going to intentionally experience. Um, okay, so what was let me see if I have any. I also I really do think like if I came back to Taoyuan with like a team of Filipinos. So I have like a product and a team. And now I'm going to the SEO agencies of Taoyuan, being like, here's what I've got. You know, I've got a product, I've got a team. We can sell this to America. We can sell this to Taiwan. Let's partner up. I need you to put some money in. I feel like it would work. I feel like it might work. But all of that is dependent on this thing, which is not learning anything else ever again. Let me come back to that because I was in the middle of. So what I'm checking for is whether there's any coding tasks that I sort of like forgot about. The SEO audit bot, web search bot, quiz bot. It's getting a little hot in here. The web form maker bot. The thing that makes FAQs. The FAQ maker. That's a good one. Oh, the email server slash like automated email might be a thing. The main thing is just making like a directory, like spending 0 hours, 0 minutes having a directory. Like the thing in my Taiwan to-do list, the number one thing on it is the Dan Bing directory. It's like that should be something that should take me uh, like 2 minutes. Like I just put in an instruction, make a Dan Bing directory, and it does everything else. Anti-drone guns, 3D printers, power generators, SEO for DoorDash. Yeah, I guess the other problem, this is getting to the thing I was about to say a second ago about never learning anything, is that the biggest problem is that if I go to the Philippines, I don't know very much about the Philippines. I'm gonna have to learn every fucking thing about the Philippines, and that's gonna take up a lot of my time. Whereas if I stay in Taiwan, I already know almost everything there is to know about Taiwan. Like seriously, there's not. Well, I do have a list of key Taiwanese defense experts that I have not looked into. Su Zuyun. Let's check this guy out. PhD. Okay, yeah, no, I would like to. I think I would be interested in like diving into what this guy has to say and what his theories are, and compare him to other people that have other theories. But now is not the moment for that. Right now, all I want to do, let's see here. Agent to agent implementation, UCP, catalog. I mean, I guess the other thing is like, yeah, just being able to provide the services myself, like the product catalog enhancement or yeah, Shopify optimization, stuff like that. But honestly, fuck that. I don't care. There's the doing of my making a topical map and a content brief for my stuff, whatever. Um, and then But again, I just think I have nothing really. Everything comes out of just this agentic. All I really need to do is just research agentic commerce and then just fucking publish what I find. That's all. Everything else stems from that. Everything else stems from that. But what was I even talking about? My topical map? Yeah. Um and one other thing I wanted to say, I've been wanting to say out loud for a few days now, ironically, considering what I'm about to say. But I felt like, at the time that I I was trying to remember what I had forgotten, let's say, uh, what I have been thinking about sort of over the summertime in Minneapolis. And the one thing was the SEO flywheel. And that was a big revelation when I recalled what that was all about. Now, the second thing, which included, selling SEO, by the way, selling SEO. And then the other thing was the topical map. And yeah, the topic doing my SEO, basically doing my SEO, which was thinking that remembering that that was like the thing, was part of the whole process of remembering about the SEO flywheel. However, I think when you think about in terms of topical map, like, do you have a topical map or not? It's sort of a binary thing, yes or no. So it's like you should be able to do that like in one night. Whereas like if you just think about it like doing my SEO, it's sort of like this like grand thing that's like a never-ending process. Um, so the topical map was the thing. That was the thing. Then that one night when I was like really focused and like getting good work done, and then all of a sudden I was fucking high on weed, co- totally against my will. That was what I was working on. I was just about to really cruise through making my own topical map for my website, and instead, to this day, I still do not have a topical map for my website. Um, and then the third thing, but I feel like there was a third thing, and the third thing was this: what I'm doing right now, talking to myself. I feel like during that period of time, um, I developed a degree of talking to myself that was like beyond what I ever would have thought possible, uh, beyond what I ever would have thought healthy. And because it started as like a it started as a way to like tell people about my business. And then it turned into like a way of documenting my business. And then it became like oh, I actually feel better when I do this. So I'm like emotionally dependent on doing this activity. Uh, and then finally it became like I need like literally every second of every day. Like I need to be narrating to myself what I'm doing like constantly, or else I fall apart emotionally. And as bad as that sounds, and then when Mo and Ali moved in, that stopped, because I became, it's strange to say, but I became more normal because I was interacting with people, but and I sort of like went into more of a state where it wasn't so much I was like narrating my way through life. I was just like live streaming maybe an hour a day to organize my thoughts. And I would organize them like by going for a walk and writing them down and then live stream just what I had, which is fine. But it's just recently I realized like I had over the Chinese New Year where I was having like a mental breakdown. And I realized like, oh, during that time I fucking needed to talk myself through every second of every day. And um it sounds bad. And I think the you have to be going through a negative emotional state in order to get to that point. But at the same time, I feel like in a weird way, it allowed me to hyper focus on things. Like it allowed me to take the normal amount of time that I can hyper focus on something and extend it out by like 3x. So if normally I can hyper focus for like 10 days, which is normal, that is about it. I think that's about right. Is that like if I get into something and I'm into it, I can just do nothing but sleep, wake up, and learn about that thing for about 10 days before I'm like, okay, that's I need to. And like the echo effect of talking about that thing and then listening to myself talk about that thing, um, it keeps me going for like an extra 30, like an extra three, yeah, for like three times. So we're talking hyper focusing for like a month and then coming out of that for like 2 days and then being able to go back into hyper focus for like another month. So uh, I almost feel like that's the third thing that I was forgetting. Uh, and then the multi curl and the GEO. Just the ability to like think about these things and never come out of that little bubble of topics. So circling back around to the thing that I had said I was going to, kind of the key thing for my whole entire life, because I've spent, my whole life up until this point, I've spent learning and learning and learning and learning and learning and learning and making no money and being pretty much useless to every single human being, not being like helpful, not being useful, not making money, not, you know what I mean? It's just, as far as anybody else is concerned, I'm just wasting time. To me, I feel like I'm learning things that are useful and necessary. So I don't feel like I'm wasting time. But for anybody at the outside looking in, it just seems like I'm fucking wasting time. And the fact that I've been doing this for so long means that they think that my entire life is a waste of time. Not that they'd say that because people are polite, but that's, the calculus of it. And also that this is just the way I am, that I'm just going to continue wasting time my whole life. As long as I'm alive, I'll just be wasting time, which I do think it's true that as long as I'm alive, I will be diving into learning about things that I don't know about. The thing is, I don't think there's anything left that I don't know about. Like seriously, the things that I don't know about, everything that I care to know about, I know a lot about at this point. There's almost nothing where I'm like, and like things that I already know a lot about, the rabbit hole doesn't go very deep. It's just like, oh shit, there's something I didn't like. I'm either reviewing something or like I'm just taking it one step further. But like it's only, so So I guess, the whole point, what I'm trying to get at here is that hold on one second. Let me see. Is there anything else I missed in terms of the coding? Is there some other coding thing that I'm supposed to be doing that I completely forgot about? No, it's really it comes down to making the graphs. The coding and the making of the graphs is the same thing. But I think that the making of the graphs is going to stem from making of the directory. Like, I'm not concerned that it has to be graphs. Like, I think if I just start, doesn't matter the format. If I'm literally writing information on these sticky notes right here, then eventually I'll want to have them on the computer. And then if I will have them on the computer, I'll want them to have a directory online. And if I will have a directory online, I'm going to want to have a reg chatbot based on it, which means I'm going to want them in graph format. And once I'm making these things in graph format, I'm going to want an automated way of making the graphs. And once I got the graphs, I'm going to want to have an automated way of making the graphs into knowledge bots and feed bots and what's the other one? Browser bots. And then probably a way to combine all three of those in a way that you can have that pull up when you're at the directory chatbot. So, it's like it all flows naturally and logically. Uh, and so I don't have to like force anything right now. I said, how does the SEO fit into all that? Doing my SEO? I don't know. I guess I think it probably does also fit in naturally because the whole thing is if you're making this graph, not this graph, but you're making this directory that you're putting online and you want people to see this directory and you want it to be generating leads, then you obviously do SEO. But at the same time, making the directory is doing SEO. So it's a very flywheel sort of scenario. I said when I first figured out what that word meant that I hated that word. Now it's the only word that I use. Okay, so what I want to say um, is that right. I really do feel like I'm done learning. And it's not that I'm going to make a effort to stop learning. It's not that I'm going to change my habits or change my way of thinking. I just am out of things to learn. There's nothing else that I really care to fucking learn. Uh, Pretty much everything that I set out to learn when I was like 18 years old, I learned at this point, to to like at least learned it to like 80%, enough. Uh, and so, new things come up. New things come up, like the situation in Taiwan with the PLA and in Taiwan, the situation with Iran. Uh, there will be new elections in the US and new uh, politicians. There will be scenarios in Taiwan, stuff like that. But these are all things. I mean, for the most part, I have like a basis in everything, and it's just when new things come up, I spend a little bit of time learning about a new thing, and then I should really change the. So the point is that no, this is not what I wanted to do, buddy. 花莲下午茶. Here we go. So I truly believe, and I don't know why I want to say this so bad because whether saying it doesn't make it true. And if it's true, then not saying it, it still is true. But I truly believe that this right here, this thing right here, is like the last distraction. It's the last thing. And from here on out, I just do things. But here's the thing, I'm not switching from learning to doing. I've just got to the point where everything the learning is doing. There is no distinction between the information intake and the information output. It's the same thing. If you splice it down enough, then it's the same thing. Uh, which is to say that as I learn about things and then I put things into the directory, and then I have a directory that's, my SEO, and then that's generating leads, and then the leads I use the directory to fulfill their stuff. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how it works. Let's take it step by step, I guess. I don't really have to be able to explain it all right now, but the point is, like, at the end of the day, my main thing is just researching agentic commerce providers, which, by the way, that's what this is too. So this isn't like this isn't like a total distraction. I'm not like completely off of on a different topic, but it's also not, as long as I'm not putting these things into a directory, which I'm not right now. I maybe will, and that might actually be a good idea. It might be way better idea than what I was planning on doing, to be honest, because instead of like, I could be offering services, whereas instead of being like, um, we will analyze your Shopify catalog to make sure that it's ready for agentic commerce. Instead of that, it's more like we will set up autonomous agents that run on these run on the blockchain, and they'll like hire people for you from Upwork, and so you'll have like a fully automated, like, you can like give it like a very broad task, and it will use both AI and humans, and I'm overseeing this thing and delivering it to you. Like, that is actually like an infinitely better, bigger and better offer than uh, I will like analyze your Shopify data, your catalog. But for now, though, I just don't understand that stuff enough. I don't understand it enough. So I don't know that that's something I want to be offering to people. I don't even understand how that offer gets structured. Um, but I certainly think that after a small amount more learning, which I'm going to do right now, I could start to put some of these crypto agent sort of offers into a directory. And then again, turn that directory into a lead generation device, and then turn that flow of leads into an agency. And then take that agency and go to other agencies and offer a partnership. And then, of course, take over the world. Yeah, so that's where we're at here, and then I'm just doing this here. I'm learning all of the terms. Wait, what the fuck happened here? This is not the. Come on, man. The whole thing. Oh, I see what happened. There's two of them by accident. Like this, like the real thread. Um, so ultimately, like, this leads directly into the thing I have to do, which leads directly into the other thing, which leads directly into another thing, which leads directly into another thing. And then what this is understanding about these crypto agents, and then from there it's like the Shopify offers, or things like Shopify offers, just a directory of agentic commerce offers. And then from there, it's just, building on that directory, not necessarily even adding new entries to it, but improving the entries that are already on there, and like adding explanation, adding content that is helpful to anybody that would be interested in this directory to begin with. Uh, and then Damn, this is taking a really long time to load. Okay, so what was I saying? Okay, so there's the directory. Directory. That's what's going on. Okay, so right, and then it's just about generating leads, and then it's just that's it. So then we've got leads, and we've got this. The directory is the providers. So that's all. I just have to do this, forevermore. This and also sleep and eat junk food, but don't get distracted by like human beings unless they are a potential partner, a potential employee, or a potential client. Radio. So I needed to. Oh, but I also do have like, hey, you know what? I never, despite all of that, looking at my list of things, I never actually did. Okay, here's the actual code list. Add a way to save a JSON file by pasting it into, oh, right. So be able to make JSON file from the front end. Make it mobile. Give it a UI. Make another one. Okay. Do my SEO. There is a or not, check whether it's a Shopify site or not, check whether or not it's a, uh, did I say Spotify? Shopify should be. Yeah. And Squarespace. And then like the way it runs the scrapers is going to be different depending on the answer. Check for an agent card. Check for universal commercial protocol compliance. If it's a Taiwan business, check its Taiwan business registration at entry. Check its LinkedIn profile. Yes, 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 Tamara, yes, yes. Make FAQs from reviews, get the Google Place ID. So just, yeah, have a skeleton entry. I guess that is sort of a different that's a separate process. This whole idea of like that I should be able to make a directory like quickly. And the point of that is not to like focus on the one directory, the AKA the agentic commerce directory. It's that I just do all sorts of directories. I could do 20 different directories in a day, maybe if I wanted to. You know, I guess there's a limit to how many things you can do in a day. Is like ultimately the only limit is how many things I can check. Because like if I could only check whether or not 20 directories came out well enough to be useful, then that's my limit per day is 20. Because if beyond 20 I don't have time to check them all, then I'm producing things that I don't know whether they are useful or not. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. That's kind of no. I mean, I guess that is like that is like a really important question in all of this when people talk about automating things, and it's sort of like your mind has a hard time grasping like where does the automation end? And for now, at least in some ways, at least the automation, at least for me, it ends at how many can I check? Because even if I can make things perfect, I don't know that they're perfect until I check them. And until I check them and see that they work fine, I can't do anything with them. So the upper limit on how many I can push per day is based on how many can I check per day, assuming I manage to automate every other aspect of the process. But I mean, in theory, you could have other people checking things for you or whatever. But or in theory, you could automate the checking process. That is also true. But again, you would never be able to know whether your automated checking process was actually correct unless you checked the checking process. Make the feedback say it like tell you the main categories of the blog and its first response. Oh, and another thing, so I guess that's kind of the idea is that if I were to go to Japan, the whole point would be to spend a month making it so that I can make directories like nothing. Like snap my fingers, there's another directory. Snap my fingers, there's another directory. Whereas going to Philippines is kind of is coming from might end up in the same spot, but it's coming from the other direction, where instead of focusing on making the directories and having the process of making a new directory be very automated and fast, I'm just focused on one directory, which is the agentic commerce directory, and making that really high quality. And it might end up leading to having a process for every step of the directory making, which I can then replicate for any other type of directory if I so choose to do. But I definitely think it would be better. It would be better to keep that in my back pocket. That if there's ever a time when I need to just go somewhere and be left alone and get some coding done, I'll go to Japan for a month. But probably be better to go to the Philippines and just see what I can get going. Like just like literally go the opposite direction, as little coding as possible. Like just find coders and then like try to get people to pay me to hire and manage the coders, if that makes sense. You know, and not that I'm trying to like trick anybody or cheat anybody or rip anybody off. It's just like, hey, I'm here. I'm in the Philippines. I'm on the ground. I can assess your needs as a business owner. Like I can evaluate your marketing efforts. I can find and hire and manage the team of people that um, that you need to improve your efforts. Their average wage is $5 per hour, so I can do it all and much cheaper than you'd be able to do in the U.S. Um, and just like brute force as much as possible. How far can that get me? So yeah, that's a plan. But I do have to, yeah. So the other thing is like the money of it. It's not. I mean, the whole thing is it's like this plane ticket to Japan, which I still need to buy a return ticket, and it's that's all. That's like the only thing I'm throwing away is like one plane ticket, one way ticket to Japan. It's not worth that much. Like, but in order to take, I need to like stay in Taiwan for an extra 2 weeks. Like it makes way more sense to just fly to the Philippines as soon as this place, the number of days I've played for this place has been paid for. Um, and I want to stay in Taoyuan, I can do that at the end of 30 days in the Philippines, or I don't have to stay in the Philippines for 30 days. Uh, I guess. The only thing is I don't know. I feel like even though Japan is more expensive, it's actually 'cause in the Philippines, I'll be, like, in my own room in a nice place, whereas in Japan, I'll be, like, in, like, a barracks. I'll be in a capsule with, all the other people that are also poor in Japan. I don't know, probably Philippines is the best bet, but, yeah, and then the other option, I guess, is fly to Japan, don't even stay there. Just fly right back, just get a one-way ticket back from Japan, and then come back to Taiwan. So that's but anyways, I think, like, overall, my overall, like, direction here is don't be making chatbots. Even if I wanna sell chatbots, have other people behind me that know how to make chatbots, and then go sell the chatbots and, um, and then don't actually do the work. Now, the thing is, I guess the reason why this should have been obvious to me earlier that that was the way about to go about it, and I didn't wanna do it, was because if you're selling chatbots, then why wouldn't you be offering chatbot? Why wouldn't the sales process go through the chatbot? Was the whole idea. And now I would say that, you know, the chatbots that are being adopted are for internal use, A, and for customer service, B. They are very rarely sales chatbots or like customer client lead facing chatbots. Um, so even though that is the holy grail, that you have chatbots that are selling chatbots, you know, but like I don't know that you can go at it directly. Is I guess the final point. Um, so yeah, it's just a million times better to just be offering chatbots, and then if somebody wants a chatbot, I have somebody else make the chatbot. That's better than I'm making chatbots and then trying to find people interested in buying them, basically. Um, and the thing, and what I'm offering them to buy isn't even the chatbot that I made. The chatbot I made is just an example, so that they can then be interested in giving me their custom specs for a chatbot, which I then have to go make like from scratch, which doesn't even make sense because honestly, the chatbots I made as a demo, that's all I'm capable of making. So if they don't like that, then the idea that just because they're paying me money means I'm going to magically know how to do it better doesn't. But anyways, yeah. So that's sort of the idea. Is like even for the chatbots, I'm not even looking to be the one making the chatbots. So what I'm much more interested in is having like t- a directory of offers and being a thing where they can talk to me and I'll put together a package for them and I will have other people deliver the package, but I'll oversee the whole process. And what was the last piece of that? And with that in mind, I don't see there being any reason not to focus on agentic commerce. I think like agentic commerce, like almost the main thing, and then like work my way backwards to chatbots, as opposed to like trying to sell chatbots or SEO. Yeah, like start with agentic commerce and like move backwards to SEO and chatbots. But again, for each of these things, what I'm trying to do is to create a list of providers that I work with, and I work from the list. so on. Right. Okay. So I looked through all of my notes in terms of the coding thing, and the thing that most stood out at me again is like the ability to make directories like quickly, and that part of that process is checking whether it's a Shopify site or WordPress site or a Squarespace site, and having a different set of scrapers depending on what it is, and having like it goes down a completely different route uh, depending on the first set of like checks. That is something that I would kind of like to code. And if I had that going and I had the syncing set up properly, then I could make like a lot of graphs quickly. If I made a lot of graphs quickly, I can make a lot of demos quickly. If I made a lot of demos quickly and I have like automated email set up, there we go. And then it's just a matter of sales, selling, 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 which honestly, now that I say it all like that, I kind of want to do that. I kind of feel like I should be doing that. Like, shit, I did it. So I got this far. How are you going to give up now? But again, I think like if I focus on agentic commerce, I'm honestly doing the same thing. It's just approaching it from a different direction. It's just the one direction is like it's code first, automation first, maximum efficiency first, whereas the other direction is like sales first. Like that, start with sales and then move to marketing and then move to, you know, and like I don't provide the service so much. I don't know. Maybe I can do both. Maybe I can flip back and forth. Maybe I will automatically do both just as a matter of inevitability. Okay. So anyways, let's see. Where were we with this? Right, and that's one other thing I have is like I have a lot of these X threads that I wanted to turn into live streams, and then I wanted to take the live stream and turn it into a like have Gemini summarize it and turn it into a blog post, basically. And the main reason for that is just because that would be that's literally the easiest way to organize them. Because as I'm reading through things, I take notes on anything that I find interesting, and by taking note, I mean I make a tweet, and then so they're like it's sort of jumping around from one topic to another topic, within the main topic. So it would be so then if I just read the whole thread in a YouTube live stream and then uh, I use Gemini to summarize that video, then I could just ask Gemini to put things in their respective categories. And in theory, that would help. However, I don't know. I might be overestimating the amount of granularity you can get out of a Gemini summary. All right, let's see what are. Wow, David Quaid just completely destroyed religion. But the thing is, he's like, it's a myth that the graph is in JSON LD. Okay. So then, what format is it in? If you really want to refute what I'm saying here, then you would, and not just say it's a myth. You would say, what format is it in? If it's not in JSON LD format. I was thinking, thinking about why I thought that the whole like, well, let me see here, GEO multi curl, uh, GEO multi curl flywheel, my topical map, and that was the whole thing. Those were the things that I forgot about that I had been thinking about the summer. Which honestly, this is what the thing I did in Hualien was review my summer time in Minneapolis and remember what the hell I had been thinking about and move things exactly one step forward, not even one whole step, like a half step. Um, Blog post, geo, multi-curl, flywheel, my topical map, and then talking to myself. That's the last thing. Talking to myself, like not like in a way that's like reasonable or like in a way that's like embarrassing, in a way that's like really fucking reeks of mental illness, like in a way that is just you would think it's not okay. Because the thing about talking to yourself is what it does, it's what it's doing is it's helping you organize your thoughts. And so when you're not talking to people, if you're really out in the fucking weeds with like, so this is what you're thinking about generative engine optimization, you're thinking about my chatbots, you're thinking about SEO, and then I'm thinking about like SEO in general and selling SEO and working with SEO companies. That's aka the SEO flywheel. And I'm thinking about my SEO for my thing, which then feeds back in the chatbots because my SEO is about my chatbots, and my chatbots are meant to help with SEO, but they're SEO tools, whatever, and they're for SEO companies. And so you get that flywheel going, and you don't have to stop the flywheel because normally if you're in this like all-consuming mental space, um, like eventually you have to go talk to other humans. You have to go out for a drink or something. But my point that I'm making here is that if you talk to yourself constantly, uh, the you can get to the point where you can just stay in the zone for months at a time. And if that's the zone, if the zone is if I've got my SEO, if I got my product, my SEO, and I'm selling to SEO agencies, and it's all like a flywheel. If you got the flywheel, and then you manage to stay in the zone, then that means that the flywheel gets to keep running and running and running. Because once you got a flywheel, the only thing that could stop the flywheel is if you're not able to stay in the zone, because you have to come out of it to do things like parent or be a boyfriend or be a husband or have friends or because you're dying of loneliness or something like that. But if you manage to just talk to yourself constantly, uh, to the point that any outside observer thinks that you're insane, then you don't ever have to come out of the zone. You could just stay in the zone. Zone is a flywheel. That's my hypothesis. That's my theory. That's so those are the things that I like that I lost over the summertime. I lost the thread, the multi curl because the coding, I was just fucked for coding. The whole idea of the flywheel, my SEO, and then just never ending the narrative, every second of every day narrating my life to me, which I almost like. I don't even think I could recreate that here in Taiwan at this moment because it part of it was like having no money for food and stuff. Like, it was like that. It was like, I need to, like, keep myself going, like, on a minute by minute basis. Alright, anyways, I was gonna do this. That whole that now that I'm so clear on what I had going there, man, now I'm tempted to recreate it. Now I'm tempted to recreate it, and the place to do that would be Japan. It really is true. If I want to go spend a month just coding and not just coding and, like, calling SEO agencies and not ever coming out of my own little world, Japan would be the spot. And making a topical map, like, Jesus, when am I gonna make it? Anyways, uh, as much as that's awesome and as unfortunate as it is that I didn't manage to capitalize that on them at the time for that has passed. And it's weird to say that because in reality, there's no reason why if it was going to work then, it wouldn't work now. But now I'm on to this agentic commerce thing, and it's a whole new can of worms. And I feel like I kind of just gotta go with it to where it goes to. And honestly, yeah, if I spend a bunch of time making a agentic commerce directory and like content for agentic commerce related SEO and like, I don't know, just establishing relationships with agentic commerce providers, um, and then I decide I want to sell chatbots, I don't see how that's not going to be a problem. Like, it's not going to hurt me. It's going to help, not hurt. So okay, anyways, let's try to go through this. I've been trying this for a long time now. Why is this difficult? I've kinda at this moment, I kinda feel like I wanna go back to doing what I was doing. I wanna, like, just stream all day. I wanna be on stream 100% of the time. 24 hours a day, all day, every day, I'm streaming, which is very different from how I've been doing things for the last like, I didn't stream at all for the past couple days, and then before that, I was sort of what was I doing? It was like a 1 hour per day sort of plan, which does make sense because if I really want to use this for documentation and I want to be able to go back and rewatch these, they need to be around 1 hour, 2 hours max. When I'm watching them on 1.5 speed. Beyond that, like it's just more than I can even theoretically watch, and it's not helpful. It's not like an actual documentation. If you're documenting things to the point where you could never possibly feasibly utilize this documentation, then that's not documentation. But I don't know why, I kinda just feel this sense of, like, I should start, streaming every fucking thing all the time, 100% of the time, which again gets me back to the whole thing, like, I just feel I have this very strong feeling, which I kind of don't wanna say because I like, then, looking back, I'm like, "Ah, again," and I've been fooled by this so many times, but I feel like I'm just done, like, I've learned everything I needed to learn. Like, holy shit, I'm done. It's the same, like with Chinese, I talk about this a lot, but like, with Chinese, there's a point where it was like I've been studying Chinese for like 15 years. I still study it for like 3 hours every day. Like, apparently, I'll just never be done. There will just never be a point. But I felt intuitively that there would be a point when I was done. And there was a point where it got to the point where like the marginal return on study was so low that it was pointless. And I stopped studying. And I feel like that's kind of the point that I've gotten to in terms of learning about all this stuff, with one exception, and that exception is agentic commerce. And then after I'm done with this, it's just about building directories. And I think that when you build directories, you kind of automatically find ways to help companies, you find arbitrage opportunities, you find opportunities. I think that's my theory. Yeah. And I don't, honestly, I don't think there's actually any conflict between the whole like agentic commerce versus like building directories. It's not like one directory versus it's like I can like build the agentic commerce directory all day and then go build a totally different directory at the end of the day, and those two things will like reinforce each other. What is purge? What else can you tell me about purge? Base is incubated by Coinbase. I'm not even sharing the right tab here, am I? So this is one thing I learned, non-custodial. I didn't know what that meant. It means that it's not owned by like the business that's facilitating your crypto wallet. It's just you have a key, and if you lose the key, you lose the crypto. Yeah, these are interesting. Competitors to Coinbase. MoonPay is a developer first. Stripe focuses on traditional merchants. Circle focuses on infrastructure, provides programmable wallets, and is developing the Arc chain, specifically optimized for high volume AI transactions. I'm curious, what is the Arc chain? I'm tempted to end this and start a new one and post it on Twitter saying like I'm doing research into this topic and you should join me if you're interested. Yo. Block Explorer is like a Google search for the blockchain. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Got that. I need this thing to not be on my lap. because it is. Seriously? You can do peer-to-peer? I did not know this. I did not know this. All right, so Owl Pay and Ubit are ways to get money into the real world. Platforms like MyCoin and BitoPro generally do not accept Americans without an ARC account due to tax reporting requirements. I don't know why that's interesting to me. For an AI agent to be truly autonomous, it usually needs a non-custodial wallet. But then I asked it if you can just use the Coinbase developer kit, and it was like, yes, you can do that actually. Account abstraction turns a crypto wallet into a programmable smart contract instead of a dumb digital key. Let's see what I'm at with my. Okay. Well, in the spirit of live streaming everything forever for the rest of my life, I'm gonna uh, be back. I'm gonna be back. I went to the 7-Eleven and I got myself some sushi and some milk tea. Green tea. Green tea. But on the way back I was thinking like, what am I doing? Like why am I determined to live stream all of a sudden? And I thought, I think the main reason is that I want to create a sense of urgency. I want to reestablish a sense of urgency. And then I was sort of like, that's another thing I had uh, in Minneapolis. I had a sense of urgency, uh, which I've kind of lost here. But the thing is, I needed to lose it because I needed to think clearly. And you can't really think that clearly when you have a strong sense of urgency. And if you really want to think maximum clarity, you need to have a sense, the opposite of whatever the opposite of a sense of urgency is. You need to think like I have as much time as I need to think this through clearly. Hmm. I definitely think you're supposed to have like wasabi and soy sauce with this. It'd be a lot better. I used to eat these all the time. It's the first time I've had them since I've been here this time. So, anyways, yeah. And then so I was thinking a sense of urgency is actually a really important question. Uh, do you have it? Do you need it? How do you create it? And I feel like I had a sense of urgency over the course of the past couple of weeks, specifically because I was not working on what I thought to be my business. As long as I was working on understanding, the political situation in Taiwan, the military situation across the strait, the situation in Iran, the situation with ICE in Minneapolis, I knew that I wasn't working on my business. But I felt like these are things I need to know about because they impact my understanding of how the world is currently working and therefore how I should be operating within that world. Okay. And so with that in mind, am I? I think it works. Um, so the issue is that now that I'm coming back to what is actually my business, there's like no sense of urgency because those things I had to get them done so that I could get back to business. But now it's okay. Well, this is what I'm going to be doing every day for the rest of my life. So this is nothing to be. And so I needed to find a new reason for there to be some urgency. And so I feel like uh, maintaining like a constant live stream is a reason because it's sort of like even though nobody's watching, and I don't, like, want anybody to watch it, I really don't care. I really like, honestly, I don't want people, like, if people, I like the idea of people watching in theory, but if anybody actually watched in reality, I would be like, "Oh, shit, this is gonna," or whatever, but that's kind of the point, is, like, I want 'em, like, hypothetically, would this be interesting to anybody for any reason? And it has to, for it to be in any interesting to anybody, it has to move. There's gotta be some degree of speed to what I'm doing, which means there's an artificial sense of urgency created by live streaming. Alright, what is this shit? What is the "it's" referring to here? Oh, account abstraction, okay. Uh-oh, what happened to, I had a lot of other questions, like, about USDC-1. Huh. Bit. Okay. Alright, I think this is where I need to start. Now I'm gonna finish eating because I wanna sit on the bed so that I'm not quite so uncomfortable. Well, I regret not getting something sweet. I should have gotten a shit ton of chocolate, but I knew it would make me sleepy, so I didn't do it. And that's a good thing, probably in the end. Oh my god, all the coins are gonna fall out. All the coins, all of the coins. This is extremely uncomfortable. I don't think I can handle this very long. Okay, so is USDC is a stable coin. It is issued by Circle. It was originally co-founded by Coinbase. Am I able to have this shit read to me or what? Kinda. Better stop. Started. That is not an ideal setup. Okay, I think we're doing a little bit better here. Let's see here. If only I could move the reading bar into another tab, that would be amazing. Okay, what is Perch? What else can you tell me about Perch? X402. Base is incubated by Coinbase. Where'd my other green tea go? Okay, wait. What is the relationship? Is USDC one Trump coin? I really need to get this close to my mouth so that I can just whisper, because the thing about this room is that it's super echoey. So if I say anything at normal volume, I feel like even though the walls are not thin here, uh, I feel like people will hear because it's just the echo. Oh, okay. So Trump's coin is USD1, not USDC1. I don't know why I can hear my own heartbeat, but it's kind of weird. Yeah, what is a gasless settlement? They do not pay the native fee gas directly from their own wallet. Okay. Instead, the fee gets shifted to somebody. Transactions. Damn it. I need to get one of the many uh, post-it notes I was playing with earlier to block this light. I can't do it. It's unblockable. God damn it. I need another one. Man, these post-it notes are thin. Let me see. Did I manage to fix the audio? Yeah. Yep. Okay. Audio's okay. So let's try to get back to work here. Okay, whatever. I'm going to skip meta transactions. I don't know what a meta transaction is. I don't care what a meta transaction is. I'll come back to that if it becomes relevant in the future. Okay, whatever. I sure wish I could have this thing. I could have it read it for me. Maybe if I read it on the Twitter side, that'll work. But then I would have to share the Twitter. Anyways. Okay, this is, I mean, Jesus, it just gets more and more ridiculous. This shit is actually getting less and less. It makes less sense the more I learn. Okay, what the fuck is circlement? I should probably be asking questions in the new Windows at this point. What is happening? Come on. I can't believe that worked. I don't know that these notes are helpful. I think I might be just wasting fucking time right here. I don't know what Web3 is. I've been wondering that for a long time. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know what it is. Like, I think I knew what it was at one point, and I think I even looked up the definition earlier today. But I have no idea what it is. What are we even talking about? Ubit is a consumer-facing payment application backed by Tether. Fucking shit. Now I gotta look up what Tether is. What are we talking about? I was gonna write it, but I realize we're talking about Ubit, so I might as well just write Ubit instead of it. Its tap to pay feature allows users to pay with crypto at any merchant that accepts Visa. Okay. Wait, so it said ACH for. So what is the system for Taiwan and the Philippines then? If it's Swift for, or if it's ACH for US, not. Man, I would really like to have that read out loud, especially while I continue working on the next thing. But it's just no way to do that without having the screen yet again. And I don't want to have to read it out myself. I guess if I whisper it, it's fine. Pretty sure that the microphone is sensitive enough to pick up on all of my whispers. Uh, what is pre-search? That's what I should do. I should be opening a new Google search for these things. And then if I want to AI mode them, I can. Blockchain is used to verify traffic and pay-per-click campaigns. How the fuck does that work? What the hell? The goal of GEO is to ensure that a blockchain project is the primary source cited by AI search models. I don't believe that. I don't think that that is accurate, but it's fun to think. I'm glad you're having fun. Google AI mode. This light is messing me up again. God dang it. It's hard to get these sticky notes to stick. Coinbase has transitioned from a simple exchange to a major infrastructure pillar of the Ethereum ecosystem. Does that make sense? I thought Ethereum would be on Coinbase. Not that Ethereum is a big ecosystem, with Coinbase being a piece of it. Dude, Coinbase is one of the largest entities running Ethereum nodes. I did not, what? I had no idea. Coinbase joined the Ethereum Foundation to back the Open Intents Framework, a standard for improving how users and AI agents interact with the blockchain. At this point, it's become clear that the problem is I don't know what the fuck Ethereum is. Coinbase Institutional serves as a bridge for Wall Street capital to enter the Ethereum ecosystem. Okay. I'm confused. Are these are the agent identification methods listed above the 2026 ones, are they outdated or are they different from this X402 UCP and personhood credentials? What just happened? Let's try this again. Are these outdated or do they work in conjunction with the new 2026 ones? A freelancer cannot just hit code X4 from scratch. Is likely to service except for our code base to handle the heavy lifting of compliance and security. Back up we go. I hope that, I think I honestly I don't think Gemini can summarize things if there's no narration. Like, I have to narrate what I'm doing. I don't think if I just record my screen and then go on Gemini and be like, "What did I do?" It'll come up with anything. Also, I can really just whisper, but I don't know, for some reason, I don't wanna do that. Strong security and social features. Private rag, that's what I should be offering, private rag. I gotta say that fucking dishwasher job in, Legendary Spice in Minneapolis is fucking haunting me because I was just thinking about, like, Liam Evans had a YouTube video where he's saying, like, basically, it's hard to manage people if you don't know what they do. You need to understand what they do, and, I like to pride myself in thinking that I'm the type of person that is pretty good at learning, and I can learn anything. So that means I can manage any type of person because I can learn how to do their job enough to understand it enough to manage them, in a hypothetical world. But um, apparently, I can't even manage a motherfucking dishwashing job. But I mean, honestly, it was bullshit. And anybody that was actually knew the situation would know it was bullshit. They would know it wasn't me. Like, first of all, the situation is fucked up. The fact that you've got a bunch of Ecuadorians that don't speak any English, don't speak any Chinese, working overtime, not getting paid overtime, have zero labor protections, getting paid less than minimum wage, like no I-9s, no, yeah, and they're working with no gloves, and it's just all this. The all of the equipment is broken. The dishwashing machine's broken. Everything's broken. Like, it's a fucked up situation. But then on top of that, the super fucked up situation was like Sean's way of dealing with it, which was like just throw me into an impossible situation, knowing it's impossible, and then wait like a couple days, and then when it doesn't go well, like blame it on me. When you could have known it was going to go bad, and and you should have it was like by the time I figured out how to do the job, then she fucking fired me. It's like, no, just give me, obviously when somebody first starts a job, especially if it's a challenging job that they don't know how to do, it's going to take them a couple weeks to figure it out. But anyways, it's totally irrelevant. It is totally irrelevant, but it's just like it haunts me because it's like, sure, I could be I can manage people that put together private RAG and agentic workflows and data sovereign infrastructure. I just need to learn what they do and talk to them about it and blah blah blah. But it's like, dude, I couldn't even manage washing the fucking dishes, which was my whole point of wanting to do the dishwashing job was that I was like, look, if I know how to like recruit and schedule and manage like the kitchen side that all speak Spanish, like, and the front end side that all speaks English, and then all I have to do is talk to the investors and they speak Chinese, I'm fucking golden. Firms like Fona Software and Spark Out Tech offer certified AI engineers for hire. All right. I'll just go ahead and post that piece in the thread. I shouldn't post it in the thread because it doesn't belong there, but it's just a quick and easy way to remind myself to check on these things. Or I could just open the link in a new tab. I wonder if this is a controversial statement here. The Coinbase Developer Platform is the central command center for building agentic applications. In 2026, it has transitioned from a simple API provider to the primary operating system for AI agents that need to move money. It includes AgentKit, an open source SDK that allows you to give any AI a multi-party computation wallet. All right, what is a multi-party computational wallet? What is CDP? Coinbase Developer Platform. That's what CDP is. So if I want to hire a freelancer for agentic commerce, should I look for a freelancer with Coinbase Developer Platform experience? Circlemint is the only platform where institutions can directly swap fiat, USD, or EUR for freshly minted USD or EURC at a 1-to-1 ratio, avoiding third-party exchange fees. It offers a robust APIs for developers to automate the minting, redemption, and distribution of stablecoins 24/7. Circlemint is not available to individuals. Applicants must undergo thorough background checks. Circle's compliance moat. It has spent hundreds of millions of dollars obtaining licenses, like the New York Pay license or electronic money institution licenses in Europe. It is incredibly difficult for a new startup to compete with Circle. A new company might build better tech in a weekend, but it would take 3+ years and 50 million plus in legal fees to get the same regulatory approvals. That's crazy. Web3 is the only place where an AI can actually exist as an independent person. Web3 is what allows you to move your wealth across borders using USDC without needing a local Taiwanese bank account. Why can I hear my own breathing? Oh yeah, I keep forgetting I was going to try to set up a line account with like a different bank account or a different email account. That might be something worth doing. The Philippines operates under the National Retail Payment System. The hell is going on here? Whatever. All right. Horizontally instead of vertically now. Okay, multi-party computation. All right, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, buddy. Skip it over. No, did my... Whoops, I am not trying to open my backend. I want email. And then I'm going to see whether or not I can sign up for Line. Nope, it's asking for my phone number. Okay, it's just fucking impossible. If you don't have the device that you originally signed up for with Line, like you cannot get it back. Dude, okay, I don't think it's saying anything real here. I don't know. That's it seems like a whole bunch of gibberish. Okay, I'm just going to I am just going to what am I going to do? I would like to save this, but the only way to do that is to first open up Google Saved Items. And then Agentic Commerce Providers. Then add Okay, so Fulminous software has officially been added to the list of commerce providers. Which, by the way, this kind of seems like some like extra thing. I'm just trying to close tabs, but this is actually like the main thing that I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to get to doing. All right, link. And now we have pre-search. What is pre-search? A private decentralized search engine. All right. That's great. That's lovely, but I'll worry about that. If I hear about it again, I'll come on back to it. All right, let's see here. All right, let's see what these notifications on my X are. Notifications on. So we'll see. Somebody decided to translate my text into Spanish. The other thing, there was this Derek thing. What was that Derek thing? I lost it. Whatever. I'll probably find it again at some point. Okay. Well, I feel like I really want to keep going with this live streaming because my whole point was to never stop at all under any circumstances, to always live stream everything forevermore, and to create a flywheel while simultaneously being inside of a endless loop of my own thoughts created by saying things on live stream and then listening to the things that I said and then just talking about what's in my mind on live stream, which was obviously going to be the thing that I heard myself say from the video. So it's just a loop, and I just get stuck in a loop, but it's a good loop to be stuck in. But I'm like physically uncomfortable in many ways. Like I'm like curled up and I'm sweating with headphones on. And I just don't know that, back in Minneapolis, what I could do was I had two different standing desks. I should have had three, but I just never figured out how to make the other one work. But so I would just, if I was like sweaty, I could just put the computer somewhere where I don't need the headset and stand up and stretch out and keep going. That's what I could do. I don't know, to be honest. Let me see here. 2 a.m. Is there any? I don't know. I kind of feel like I have to keep. Can't stop, because if I stop, I'll lose my sense of urgency or something. Okay, well, let's just shift. Let's just shift. Let's just change position and keep going. Okay, so in theory, this is the main thing I'm working on, is my Substack article. All right. Agentic commerce offers. This is the main thing I need to work on. I should really be using Gemini so that I can easily
have it talk to me. But I'm obsessed with AI mode right now, so let's just keep using AI mode for a minute, and we'll see. Why is this not editing properly? Okay, that's very annoying. That's as long as I have it in. As long as I'm. Um, see if I put this in reading mode, is that easy or what? That's sad. If I want it to be. I was thinking, like, I wonder if there's a way to like steal his button. you know, like I could probably literally ask AI mode, like just steal this button right here. Just take the for this button, which all it does is mail to callin@2cups.com. And that would be cool because I'm making a directory. Well, what if the directory had like a button for each person that like went to their, went to them. Whatever though, I don't want to like. The thing is that there's probably a million ways I could do this better, but I just don't want to spend too much time on like the first one because obviously if I come back to it after having done 100 other ones, then I'll have a better idea of what it is I'm doing exactly. All right, I'm going to switch to Gemini and just switch to Gemini and stop being. That's what I'm going to stop being. I really need to remember to get like rubbing alcohol from the pharmacy and use it to clean my headphones. I think that'll work. And I'm saying that on live streams that I remember to do that. Why can't I convince I wonder if it's better to use the app for whatever reason. I think it's better to use the app. I don't know if it should matter though. Should it even matter? What is bigcommerce.com? I'm going to end this live stream. First, I'm going to edit the description of the live stream so that it's Yeah. Okay. That's all. That is all. Okay. And then end this live stream. Start a new live stream. The new live stream will be called Agentic Commerce Directory Part 1.